GitHub just launched a very interesting tool. It's called Agentic Workflows, and it aims to simplify the CI/CD pipeline management by providing a way to orchestrate workflows using natural language programming. It's a pretty cool idea, and it might just modernize the way we maintain and moderate our repositories. In this video, we'll take a closer look of how GitHub Agentic Workflows work, and I'll show you how to set it up for your own repository. It's gonna be a lot of fun, so let's dive into it. So GitHub Agentic Workflows is a new project by GitHub Next and Microsoft Research as part of a broader vision they call continuous AI. The goal is to move past dumb automation and into a concept they call productive ambiguity. So the idea is that traditional GitHub actions are deterministic. If X happens, you should do Y. But tasks like triaging a bug, updating documentation, or catching architectural flaws require a touch of judgment. And agentic workflows allow you to describe that judgment in plain Markdown and execute on it. But that also means that there need to be some guardrails in place, and that's why it aims to take an actions-first approach. Basically, it inherits the entire GitHub Actions ecosystem, like team visible logs, secrets management, and auditable permissions. So you get the intelligence of an agent with the guardrails of a standard CI/CD pipeline. These agents run with minimal permissions by default, meaning they can analyze your code and suggest improvements, but they can't perform write operations without explicit approval through predefined sanitized pathways. So basically the idea is to create an AI DevOps assistant, but with the security guardrails around it. And setting it up is super straightforward. You just need to add it using the GitHub CLI extension, and you're good to go. The workflow itself happens in a two-step process. You first create a Markdown file with the instructions for your agent, then run ghaw compile on that Markdown file, and then the system reads your natural language instructions and transforms them into a robust locked-down GitHub Actions workflow stored in a designated .log.yaml file. You then push those changes to your repo, and the agent is activated automatically. So let's do a little demo to see how it works in action. Here I have created an empty project, and first I'm just going to create a simple Python file with some data variables for now. We'll get back to this file in a moment, but for now that's all we need. Now we need to create a .github folder and then also a workflows subfolder inside of it. And make sure you follow this naming convention so Agentic Workflows knows where to look when compiling the Markdown files. And then let's create a Markdown file called agent.md, and this file basically consists of two parts. The first part is the header, where you specify what permissions this agent will have, and you also need to specify which AI provider you will be using for it. In my case, I will be using Copilot. And everything after that is just free interpretation. You just use natural language to describe what the agent needs to do. In this demo, I'll create this big O auditor whose job is to check the code commits, calculate the big O complexity of any new code, and if it's inefficient, identify and suggest a better way to optimize it. And I will also ask it to display the findings in a Markdown formatted table for a quick overview. And now I'll go back to the root directory and run ghaw compile. And if everything is correct, we should get this message saying that we have compiled a new workflow. And if we now look at our file tree, you'll notice that we now have a .log.yaml file, which was automatically compiled by the script, and also a new folder called AW, which contains a GitHub Actions log file. So we can now push these changes to our repository. And last thing you should do is set the API key of your chosen AI provider as a secret so Agentic Workflows can access it. In my case, I chose Copilot as the engine, so I'm providing my Copilot GitHub token here. Now that that is all done, I will push all of these changes to GitHub, and at this point the Agentic Workflow should be set and ready to be activated. And since I configured my workflow to be activated on any new pull requests, let's go ahead and make a new pull request to test it out. I will now create a new branch for my repository, and in this new branch I will add a new function to our main.py file that will search for matching records. But I deliberately wrote this function to have a very inefficient big O complexity of O of n squared. So if I open a pull request with this code, our agent should identify this function as inefficient and suggest some improvements. So let's try that now. So I've added the code, push the changes, and back on GitHub, let's now open a new pull request. And now you'll notice once I open the request, the Agentic Workflow pipeline will immediately activate and start processing our code changes. And it took the pipeline roughly 3 minutes to finish. And now we see that our big O auditor has indeed identified our function as inefficient, and it gives us a detailed explanation as to why, with a well-formatted table like I asked, followed by a section where it proposes a better solution. And look at that, it even calculates the performance impact we could gain by implementing the optimized solution. So I hope this example shows you how with a minimal setup we can use agentic workflows to put some additional safety checks around our codebase. This is where that productive ambiguity comes into play. We can ask the agent to use its own judgment to solve high-level goals like maintaining code quality and performance. Now obviously this is still a research prototype from GitHub Next, and you're probably going to run into some latency, and you definitely still need that human in the loop to verify the final checks. But this is a broader vision of continuous AI where we can leverage the power of AI agents to monitor and manage our CI/CD pipelines autonomously. And speaking of self-governing systems, if you're managing production environments, you know that keeping everything running smoothly is a 24/7 job. That's why I recommend checking out BetterStack, because we've recently launched our own AI SRE that helps you handle on-call incidents while you sleep, so you can stop chasing fires and focus on actually shipping code. So there you have it, folks. If you found this video useful and informative, let me know by clicking that like button underneath the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. This has been Andres from BetterStack, and I will see you in the next videos.